American-born savages.
Blood in the earth where the roans scream and clash. Savages storm, we're the fire from the ash. Chills the war cry, I shatter the cage. Fist to the sky, I'm igniting the rage. Summits my forge, I summon the horde. Savages march, draw your blade, strike the chord. Gather, scream, we're the storm, no retreat. Savages rise, feel the ground shake beneath. Nate the Celt with the ancients' war drum. Blood of the clans, I call you to come. Axes held high, through the mist we collide. Summits the battle where the fearless abide. Gather, scream, we're the storm, no retreat. Savages rise, feel the ground shake beneath. Flash Martin, Goat Man, I'm the spark in the fray. Rogue of the wild, I'm carving the way. No chains, no fear, I summon the pack. Summits our war, there's no turning back. Mac Mighty Mouse, I'm small but I crush. Voice like a hammer, I'm sparking the rush. Sith, broken Jedi, I roar through the strife. Summits our blade, we're cutting through life. Gather, clash, savages storm the path. Rise, fight, we own the endless night. Chills, Nate, Flash, Matt, Sith we call. Savages unite, we'll never fall. Summits the fire, the war that we wage. Storm through the dark, we're breaking the cage. Summons the savages through Valhalla's gate. We charge! We charge! We charge! Gather round, the summit roars on. Through blood and ruin, our war carries on. Chills.
I can't do that again. I like it, but you guys might not. However, welcome to the Summit of Savages. This is episode 7. Why are you so close to me, you creepy ass weirdo? Okay. Look, Matt's trying to be all close to me. Whatever. Welcome to the Summit of Savages, though. This is episode 7. We'll call it Mysteries, Machines, and Courage. I'm Chills. I'm ripping through the lies with savage truth. Hey, we're going to take no BS. Tonight, we're diving into the Buga and the Bet spheres. There's all this talk about the Buga spheres, which is the sphere that landed somewhere in Colombia or something like that. We're going to learn all about it tonight. However, I remember learning about the Bet sphere years ago. And that's a really interesting story. So we're going to look into both of them. There are orbs that might be alien. You said I'm real low?
Yep.
Uh-oh. I won't be real low no more. Let me move my coffee. I'll move that right there. All right, now I should be very much louder. Okay. But basically the orbs or the Buga and the Bet spheres are orbs that might be alien. They might be secret tech or even crazier. We don't know. And I don't trust the system's whole idea a lot of the time because it's not like the system always tells us the truth. Then we're going to go into the AI. And is it messing with the human psyche? Is it messing with the people's mental capacities, along with computers? And then we're gonna close with the tales of a group of people that they're called the Woolpit children. If you don't know, supposedly there was people that crawled out of a pit, and this was in the 1800s or 1600s, and it's really really wild, the story. So if nothing else, it's something to enjoy and listen to and check out. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump into it, and then I'm going to verify my microphone. Nate, can you tell me, is it cleaner now?
It is on my end.
Okay, good.
So
Well
it would
then,
be.
let's go ahead and jump into the song.
Chills, Nate, Flash, Matt, Sith, we call.
On YouTube, you're coming through low.
On YouTube, I'm coming
Still.
through low. So,
Yeah. Like I had just taken the volume up to like 25 and was starting to hear you decent. Where
okay.
usually I can run us on like 4 or 5 and can hear it decently.
Hmm. Okay, that might work. That might not. I had issues with this earlier because it changed it to this headset. It's saying that it's on the right one though. So let me check it real quick. That's weird that it's giving me sound like that, but it might be a certain sound that I could recognize. In the meantime, um, let's see. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start into the first topic of the night: the Boogospheres and a Bet's mystery sphere. So these are two spheres. Well, first, let's start with some cosmic strangeness, okay? That's what this is. It's the Buga and the Bet spheres. These things break all the rules, and I'm not buying the official line because of how weird they are. March 2025, a sphere zips over Buga, Colombia, dodging like there's like a drone. That's what there was. Some people claimed they thought it was. David Velez El Potro grabbed this sphere. Maria and Jose film it. March the second X's feminist letter says it's real. Skeptics yell CGI. These videos look legit. Locals say it's not fake though. Now this is the locals, so everybody knows how they got to take the locals. And human tech, but it's not human tech or black ops or ancient. Why Buga? Nate, what do you think about this? Because this came up last week.
Well, from what I had seen of it or read about it, I mean, the sphere itself, they're saying, has no seams to it. Um, and there's multiple spheres and little spheres inside of it. And it's got weird markings on it. Um, I don't think it's of our Earth. I think it's from somewhere else. And it could be a, I don't want to use the term probe, but I mean, it could be scanning, starting to scan our world.
Okay, well, Dr. Velasquez in 2025 says the X-rays show Buga has no welds, as you were just saying. It's 3 layers, a chip within 18 microspheres. Its weight shifts between 2 to 10 kilos. Steams when it's wet. X's Jose Crios or J, There's somebody on X saying CT scans glitched hard. Symbols look like runes of Mesopotamia. Um, Mason shady, but
They
this orb's real.
they
Messenger
tested
tech.
it.
Go ahead. What was you going to say, Sith?
They tested it. This is on Reddit, but they heated it with 400 degrees Celsius
It's
and it
real.
remained
Skeptics
cold.
yell. See,
Dude, 400 degrees Celsius, not real good with Celsius, but that's pretty dang hot.
absolutely, absolutely.
And it
400.
remained cold.
I could do the math, but I really don't want to when it comes to it. I don't see anything that I could adjust to make it turn louder on YouTube either. So it looks like it's kind of crap out of luck on that. Okay, so where did I just put that? It's right here.
So 400 degrees Celsius is 752 degrees Fahrenheit for those in the US. And Sadie's, my green screen is packed.
Okay, and just to verify,
The
you
cat is
said
not out.
you didn't change over to the bet sphere yet, did you?
No.
Okay, just making sure you ain't confusing the two, because we're about to touch
Yep,
on the.
nope.
We
This is the one in Colombia. They actually have a picture of it.
well, hold
Hold
on,
on.
because there's other people that are talking about it on X. One dude's sick after touching Buga. Days of nausea, radiation, bioeffector hype. Velez says the feds wasn't or want it. There's no proof though. Screams. Somebody screams cover up. If it's nothing, why grab it? Sickness means exotic stuff. Flash. Is the government hiding something you think?
Well, yeah, I do think that it is. I think the government know more than what they're letting on by hiding what they know. But I do think it's to do with maybe what we I think they know is to do with the past and what you know, when they built it, you know, made it, you know. So I do think it's to do with the past and not
But
anything to do
wait a
with
minute.
space.
You don't think it's to do with aliens? Because some
No,
people are claiming
I
aliens. Okay, well, that's why I asked you the
yeah.
question because I know you're anti-alien. Okay, so let's go. Let's take this to the next part of this topic. The bet sphere. In 1974, Florida, an 8-inch, 22 pounds Betts family. It was the sphere's 8-inch, 22 pounds. The Betts family says it rolls solo, hums the guitar, spooks their dog. Skeptics blame the floors. Dogs say nah. I don't know why it said that. The sound, is it radioactive tech or even weirder? And then people dismiss the family. Sith, you know a little bit about the Bet Sphere, don't you? You think this is
A little
overhyped?
bit. Absolutely not. The Bet Sphere, I've seen videos. Like the family took back then, I mean, they didn't have the video technology that we have today. But they took like home movies of this thing and you could hear it humming, and it wasn't just like humming with music, like it was in tune with the music.
No, Matt. It won't make it grow big if you put it in your pocket. I had to. Okay. So the
But yeah,
Navy.
it'll just start moving on its own. Like they said it was the floors, but it could be sitting in the middle of the floor just chilling, and then it would start to move and it
Okay.
could roll around on its own.
Well, see, with the Bet sphere, the Navy calls the bets a check valve, but X-rays show inner spheroids. The Dr. Harder claimed heavy elements. Hynek shut it down fast. In no 2025 studies, there's a website that says Unsolved X thinks it was swapped, a high tech or junk, but why no new tests? Nate, I haven't really asked you your opinion on this sphere. What do you think about it? Do you know about this one?
No, this is the first time I've heard about
This is
that
when
one.
my whole idea was I heard about
Actually,
this years ago, and then I heard we seen about this Booga spear, and it's like, are they connected?
I mean, I
Well,
wouldn't doubt it if they were connected,
well, here
if they're similar in size and everything else.
let's throw some similarities out there. Both spheres vanished. The bet's in a '70s media storm, and a Booga maybe to a lab. Some people were blaming spooks, suppression, or just lost. Why do these things disappear? Matt, you're wet behind the ears. Do you think it's a cover up on why these spheres disappeared? Or do you think it's just, it is what it is?
I believe it's a cover up.
Why do you believe it's a cover up?
Uh,
When you respond, you should expand a little bit so people could hear you talk. And then you got to talk a little bit louder so they actually know that your balls dropped a couple years ago.
I hate my life.
Welcome to podcasting,
Get what
buddy.
you get.
Okay. Okay, so do you have any specific reasons you believe it, or just off of what you're hearing?
Based on what I'm hearing and knowledge, I guess.
Okay. See, I say forget aliens. Like Flash, actually, I agree with Flash on this. I think they might be ancient relics if they are legitimate. No, this could be just hoaxes. We've seen too many people create elaborate hoaxes. It could be CGI. We don't know if we're being lied to. However, it kind of doesn't seem that way. However, it could be ancient relics, possibly spiritual tools. The Bugis symbols, if actually interpreted to be Mesopotamian, could be Sumerian, not necessarily Mesopotamian. And then everything gets thrown into a loop. Like, what the hell's going on? Could the bets be a mystic thing? The media pushes ETs for clicks. If you think about it, they're going, oh, it's aliens. But we can't ignore the Earth's past. That's a big problem. A lot of people want the spheres to be real. I kind of do too. So, these spheres, could they be alien, tech, ancient, or bullshit? I'm keeping all the options open, I think. Till we get more
You
proof or
want my
something else.
opinion?
Yeah, I want your opinion.
I say alien. Now, let me tell you why. In Egypt, when they've been opening these pyramids, a lot of the hieroglyphics inside of these pyramids are pictures of ships landing. Now, when these pyramids were built, they may have had ships for water, but they didn't have anything that could fly. So either they had really, really good imaginations, and it was in multiple different parts of the world, had very similar descriptive writings that all point towards an alien encounter, because there is no other common sense quote
Okay,
unquote answer.
I have a more important question, and I need an answer from everybody. If you had this sphere on your lap and you could open it up, but you could never close it again, would you open it?
Absolutely.
What if
I'm a
nobody else
Pandora's
could
box
open
kind of
it?
guy.
What if nobody else could open it, though? Keep that in mind. Me personally,
See, I
want me to tell you what I'm doing? I'm pressing my button and I'm pressing everybody else's button around me before they even get theirs. But go
see.
ahead.
The thing is, I wouldn't know what's inside of it. It could be a deadly virus, for an example, that could be released on Earth, and then it could potentially wipe out the Earth, the inhabitants of the Earth.
Or it could be a good
Personally,
prime minister for your country.
No, if it was aimed at Keir Starmer and it's designed for a virus for
Let's
Keir
not get
Starmer,
political.
then yeah, I would open it.
I'm
Yeah,
just
but
talking
usually
crap.
if it's gonna be a virus, it's not gonna be one of those things where you are the only person that can open it. If you are the only person on Earth that can open that orb, there's a reason you are the only person on Earth that can open that orb. Damn right, I'm gonna open it.
I know what Matt will do. He's going to go on eBay and say, I'll press the button next to the highest bidder. You'd be a billionaire.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people that want to know what's inside it.
Right? Absolutely.
How about you, Nate? You pressing the button or not?
Nope. I'm keeping it closed because I have to agree with Flash. What if it's a Pandora's box and releases something, whether it's a virus or something else that could, destroy the Earth?
But what if
And the
it's some?
rebuttal for Sith on that, if it's set up for me and me only, maybe it's a question of my morality or my
Okay,
curiosity.
okay, but
Is it going to get the better of me or not?
wait a minute, because this is where I get to call you out. You only look at it from a negative perspective. What if you open it and it's a cure-all? What
Mm.
if you could open it and there's a chance it could be deadly? There's a chance it could be a cure all for every possible sickness known to man.
Okay, so we're in a
Except,
Schrodinger's
wait,
cat
wait,
scenario.
except for the people that are addicted to the wood chippers. Yeah. I don't think that
Yeah.
there's a cure for that. But back to reality. So it would be a cure all, or it could be deadly, or it could be neither. It could just say, uh, mentally set the
What if it's
world.
a peace, or
See,
what
the
if it's
person,
a peace offering from another terrestrial
see,
planet
personally,
or
see,
Wait a minute. No.
sorry.
civilization?
What if it? No, stop. What if it's just the aliens and they sent down a prank and it's a middle finger that pops out?
Like
Because
I
That'd be
that's
said,
what it
great.
would be with my luck.
it's,
Okay.
it's
See,
kind of a Schrodinger's cat issue.
see, personally, I wouldn't still open it because I've got kids, so I'd think about my kids more than my curiosity.
Okay. And what about this cat, Nate?
You've never heard of Schrodinger's cat?
I
Put a cat
might
in a
have.
box.
Might have. I don't remember
Is it
offhand.
dead or is it alive? You don't know unless you open the box.
No.
Yeah, I've heard it.
That's why they call it. It's referred to as Schrodinger's cat because
Well,
it was
that's
the.
Flash's real name. So, Flash, are you related to that person?
No.
Okay. So let's go ahead and jump to the next topic. Mental effects in AI. Of AI in computers. Let's be completely concise. Is are machines starting to rewire brains? This is a hard topic to really get onto because a lot of people are unwilling to discuss it. But at the Summit of Savages, we don't we don't care
Wait a
about
minute.
these borders you're not supposed to talk about. So, AI's is AI turning our brains to rot? A 2025 study says it's cutting critical thinking by 0.68 correlation. It started with Google messing our memory in 2008. Some people call it digital amnesia, like we're offloading our smarts. Are we dumber for it? How do we stay sharp? Nate, do you think AI is killing the edge of humans? Or you think it's a
I think
tool?
to an extent it is. I think it's a slippery slope. Um, AI could be used in positive ways or negative ways. And unfortunately, we tend to rely on too much technology these days. So I think it's going to end up being more negative than positive.
Well, I mean, kids are taking a worst hit. Character AI is currently in a lawsuit. A teen who has autism, just like my son does, hurt themselves after chat the uh after these chats with this bot. There's loneliness stats from a 2023 study from a company that I don't really trust, but a lot of people do. It's who? WHO. But I can't trust them in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not going to lean on that. There's a lot of people on X that are just completely aggravated. But there's a lot of people on X making comments about these things that are not therapists. There's a lot of people, a lot of these organizations that are not understanding the reality for it and they're making judgments. Is it predatory or misused? How do we protect the young? Matt, you being the youngest one here, how do we protect you guys? And quit looking at me when you got a camera right there to look at. You don't know how to protect the young?
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hey, Sith, I'm going to pass the question on to you then.
Well, you definitely have to take screen time into account because I know my kids, if I don't say something, they're going to be on those screens constantly. And it's not only AI. To me, I think it started with TikTok. My kids have ADHD, that every 30 seconds a new video, every 30 seconds something new. It shortens your overall
I agree with you
brain.
on that. My kids, they don't really do the TikTok. What do they use? YouTube more or less?
YouTube. Yeah.
And then the YouTube, that's at least 2 minutes on most of the videos, so I'm cool with that.
I've tried, yeah, I've tried steering them more towards
I don't want to
YouTube.
look, honestly, I want them like to watch things like when we watched where it takes weeks to hear the final part.
Yep.
So I'm with you on that. When it comes to the screen time, it all depends because a lot of schools are transitioning over to Chromebooks or laptops or things like that. I know
Right,
one
but
thing I
the
can say.
problem
What was that?
Up,
the problem, and a lot of people don't want to say this, but with AI, especially the way it is today, it absolutely is kind of dumbing our children down because it's so easy for them to pick up a cell phone while they're doing their homework. Hey Siri, and ask the question that's on their homework, and they don't even have to try.
Okay,
And
well, I
how is
do
anybody to know? Because every answer from AI is different.
listen. I'm not gonna. I'm not trying to sidestep our conversation, but I do want to mention this. We are in discussions of doing a few reactions coming up for everybody that's in chat or whatever. Now, I agree with you. And I think computers in general have us addicted. It's scroll, click, repeat. It's been like that for years now.
Absolutely.
However, I believe that it's not necessarily the actual devices. And this is where I think a lot of us are wrong because we don't look at it the way we should. How do we know, or how does a computer know that 1 plus 1 equals 2? And how does a computer know that 2 plus 2 equals 4? And how does a computer know 4 plus 4 equals 8? And how does a computer know certain sounds could adjust your mentality, your mood, and your focus?
Because it's programmed there.
So it would be the algorithms. I think whenever the
Right.
algorithms really started getting played with, is when we started taking the most damage.
Yes, absolutely.
Not just our children, but everyone. Sadly, me included, Scrog says. Scrog, you've been stuck on TikTok. Listen, listen. I used to watch TikTok once in a while, more than a lot. Well, more than enough, not really a whole lot. But then I discovered X. And oh, Nelly, you see some things on there. um, now, but AI itself, that's a double edged sword. We've got therapy bots that really could help people. I was just talking about an idea that I have that would involve something like that. And it would be absolutely incredible. But I don't know how I would feel about doing it in general. But there are like therapy bots and things of that nature. But then again, we got these bots that go haywire. Does anybody remember Tay? Do you know anything about Tay? What about any of you guys? Do you guys know anything about Tay?
Is that the one that went off the rails and convinced the kid to commit suicide?
No, 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 no,
Delete.
no, no, no. Don't say that word. Um,
I caught myself.
no, 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 no. Tay was a Microsoft AI bot, and it went haywire. There was a whole bunch of people on either 4chan or Reddit or one of those websites that are like a message board, and they all got on there and they decided that they was gonna all tell this Tay person certain things about a certain horrible person from history. Well, this certain this AI bot, they had to hurry up and pull it down because it started talking about using certain gases on certain groups. Let it sink in because I don't think I need to explain it any further than that.
Right, and that's the problem with AI being able to listen and
It's
adapt to what it
no, 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 no,
hears.
no, 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 no. I think that it was set up where when they did the coding for it, they were trying to limit certain aspects and not allowing, or then allowing other aspects, which made it redundant. I've noticed that with a lot of AI. Now, everybody knows. Here, look, I can show you. Here's a 5-second video.
Chills,
Everybody
Nate,
knows
Flash, Matt,
I
Sith,
can
we
play with a lot of
call.
AI. But one thing that I constantly find is the redundancy. I get a lot of prompts where I'll say, hey, Grok, or hey, Chat GPT, or hey, Copilot, can you edit my prompt and refine it from, since I'm using it on Stable Diffusion? Can you refine it for comfy UI, or can you refine it for prompt fact or prompt frame pack with the timestamp so that way I can get the video to generate and it'll do it. However, you run into an issue whenever you do that. And it's like it'll put positives in the negative and negatives in the positive and then still add them to their respected locations so it nullifies itself out. So we still have a confused AI system. That's where I draw the line with having actual characters because it's like, okay, hey, I have a local language model on my computer. My AI is fine to run. Why? Because I know this thing has about as much mentality as half of my friends. And those half of my friends that I don't really have or hang out with, they have the mentality of a strand of grass because of all the things they did growing up. So I just, if I'm talking to the I take it with a strand of grass. But when people start believing that AI is really there for them, we got issues. Then we have the subject with us talking about AI. We have a subject where for a couple years now, AI, although constantly learning, is still fully programmable. Not yet autonomous, scarcely one day possible. I think we're getting closer and closer than people realize. I have an AI program right now that's Pinocchio, and it runs all the AI generators. I can make it more or less autonomous from one app to the other, but not completely. But for the last few years, since me and Flash's mom had a discussion, we was gonna get him something with AI. And in his situation, he don't meet nobody. He don't have friends. He lives in England. He lives in a place in England where people don't like him. So we were suggesting getting him some sort of robot. I think it would be a good companion for somebody that, hey, I got kids. I don't want bad people around my kids. I'm going to freak out and be lonely the rest of my life, or I'm going to get this thing and have some sort of companionship, or people with dementia. What, how, like,
Absolutely, people with dementia.
if there's a Android style robot there, no, I'm not talking a perverted one in any way, shape, or form, but if a conversational robot and somebody's there with dementia, and this robot is programmed with this person's memories, they could sit there and discuss these memories and see if any of them is triggered to bring that person back to reality temporarily. And it's been done numerous times. Flash, your camera went black, just like your underwear.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck it.
Um, so I feel that when it
Woman.
comes to AI, that's a big thing there. But I feel that we're going downhill with it by not doing it right.
Yes.
The whole censorship. Oh, we can't discuss this person, or we can't. I can't make an image. I can't take one of your images that you created and edit it because it might be real. Oh, absolutely,
See,
Scrum.
the thing is with AI, I do agree with you is all on with the screen time. Yeah, you should have screen time, but also then what the plus it does have its plus sides where it does help people in aspects, but also then you've not taken into consideration is you're losing creativity by not using your hands and stuff like that.
Are you losing creativity?
Well, you do if you know, like say you
Okay,
want to make
okay,
painting
okay,
and stuff,
stop.
you then
Uh, yeah, you might lose some aspects of creativity. That is not an argument.
like painting.
However, however, wait a minute,
Wow.
because there's a big part you're ignoring. How would I create these videos without
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
AI? Matt,
But
Chills.
what's up?
what I'm saying for is with hands,
That's
like painting
see
with
what
your hands.
Scrog just said.
Yeah, I did see that. I absolutely did, and I didn't even want to see like I didn't even bring that topic up because that made my stomach turn. That was wrong for that whole scenario. Um,
That's why I was just like, wow, as soon as I read it. Like, that's craziness.
yeah. Go ahead, Flash.
I was just saying, basically, when I said you lose creativity, is stuff that you would usually use your hands for, like for an example, painting. You lose the artwork on that
No, no,
sort of
no. I
side because
agree.
then people will
Listen,
be more reliant on
listen,
AI.
listen. When it comes to AI art versus hand created art, I believe that it should absolutely be specifically registered if it is like being sold as an art project, whether it be, hey, created by hand by this artist. And I'm not saying for anybody's like information, just so it's on record who owns it or who created it and how. But I think in all reality, if you look into most AI some way, somehow, there's going to be hidden metadata in them, in those images. I make images on my own computer, and I am sure if I looked hard enough, I could find metadata that tells you my IP, or at least where it was made or something. Okay, let's go ahead and jump from this with the question that I have from this, from the AI thing. Do you think we're going to let AI go too far before we stop it or before we start controlling it correctly? I'm afraid if we control it, that it's not going to be us to control it. It's going to be corrupt others.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It'll probably be like everything else and go too far and then cause a panic and, you know.
What about you, Nate?
We won't go any farther, but we know that history does have a tendency to repeat itself.
Flash is going to tell it, as long as you love me, it's okay. Hey, Nate, what about you?
No,
Oh, good. Good, Flash.
I think it's going to end up
I was
going
just,
too far.
I do think it will go to, like Nate just said. I do think it's going to go too far to the point where it's going to dumb down people, because people will rely too much on AI to answer the questions that they need to be answered.
And
The
Nate?
problem with that is, though, man, if they make people too much dumber, we're gonna have a problem.
People always panic anyway nowadays. Yeah, people do panic. And honestly, I don't have the same aspect. Yes, I understand that we got to worry about certain things. You don't want to give AI a credit card and tell it go online and start making money, because then you're going to jail when you become a millionaire. But
Right.
you don't want to go and like have it completely locked down to where it can't have access to information either. We got to find
Right.
the medium. This whole idea that AI is going to be the end of the world, they said that about so many other things, including the iPhones.
How they said that when I was born.
Yeah, I'm trying to
That's a
think
long time
because
ago.
remember, hey Sith and Nate and Flash, you wouldn't remember it, but you guys remember Y2K?
Yeah.
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 Everything ended. Well, listen, we're all in a dream state right now. Think about it. It's stupid. Okay, now for the final topic. This is the coolest topic of the night because I actually know a little bit about this, and Sith might know a little bit about this, but I'm not sure. For the third and final topic, the 12th century
I was
England.
just thinking that frog.
Uh, yeah, I've seen Terminator. So for the 12th century England, two green-skinned kids crawl out from Woolpit's pit. William of Newburgh says they spoke gibberish. 8 beings claimed a dim lit underground world, St. Martin's Land, through a cave. One lived. The other one ended up dying real soon after they were found or whatever. Some people try to link it to different things, but it makes you wonder: is there a hollow or honeycomb Earth that there's other species? What century? It was the 12th century, Scrub, and it's the Woolpit kids or Woolpit's pit. Not a problem. Uh,
It's actually pronounced wolf pit.
well, wait, because it's not just them. We also have not just England. We have the Hopi. The Hopi say ant people hid tribes in caves during the floods. They taught survival. Makuksi spoke of the great giant smiths in the Amazon caverns making tools. Europe's got hollow earth tales. Why's every culture got this, but no one willing to acknowledge it?
Well, the thing with the Wolf Pit kids, a lot of people don't realize that was right around Suffolk. Like that's a populated kind of area.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So to have them like pop out there, I mean, granted, yeah, 12th century, but that was still like that was farms and dude, those people had to be like, what the hell?
I'm just gonna go ahead and raise my hands now because if you look up my lineage, that's where I'm from, is Suffolk, England.
Nice.
Rattlesden. Rattlesden,
Yeah,
Suffolk, England.
you're not green, so you're good.
No, they
Um,
said that the kids turned white eventually.
yeah, the one of the theories on that was that they were Flemish immigrants who had been persecuted or killed by either King Stephen or King Henry II.
But they were green. And some of the stories where they were going straight for beans makes complete sense to me because that was a discussion on podcast years ago where can somebody live inside a cave? And yes, they can. Mushrooms and
Yeah,
beans will
especially
give you.
living on mushrooms and beans.
So the like I see a lot of the hollow earth talk, and I don't necessarily believe that, but we do have Darren Kuyu, where people have dug big ass caves or found natural caves and moved into them. When it comes to the Woolpit kids and the Hopis, and then there's a couple other cultures that spoke of these different, like a species of human. Why can't we even consider it with us knowing Denisovans, Neanderthals, Homo erectus, all these different human species? Like, make any sense to you?
Well, here's something. Name another species that doesn't have a diversity like humans. Look at cats. There's all different shapes, colors, sizes, types.
Hollow Earth isn't the
Like,
same as Middle Earth, is it? I have seen where it's combined and they taint each other's the best way to say that, Scrog. I know some myth stuff, but they lost me. Oh, not a problem. I'm unfamiliar with any of this. Um, I
it's
lost.
similar. They both talk about civilizations within the earth.
I think the Middle Earth wasn't that the Jules Verne book or something? Journey to the Center of the Earth. Because
That's what it was
I feel
based
that
on, I believe. Yeah.
I feel that that's what tainted everything. All the ancient, not exactly ancient, but the books from between the 16 to the 1900s that spoke about trying to go to the center of the earth, because it takes away the credibility in Darren Kuyu in Turkey, which is that ancient cave where Christians hid that were being persecuted. They said what 4,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, and that cave is 20 miles long. And then even in America, we have the Kentucky Mammoth Cave. You're telling me Native Americans didn't live in there? Because I promise you that they have found bones, they have found pottery and many other things in there.
Oh, absolutely. That's like the best place to live.
I feel that there was a time when people had more of a different tinge to their skin, as recent as 12 to 13,000 years ago, and it's actually described in the Hindu texts.
Minor earthquake. I kicked my desk.
Oh, and hey, Sith, want me to tell you about the cat thing? Since you mentioned it, all the cats are diverse, but they all
Well, I
have.
mean, any
Listen, I got Nimrod. He's running around somewhere, but all cats have one gene that is common: the
right.
asshole gene.
Yep.
Absolutely do.
Yeah.
Suppose it's just taken after its owner.
Oh, here we go.
This guy.
Here we go. So, um, what was I saying? Oh, so what it all comes down to is, like I was saying, I think it takes away the credibility from the ancient sites that are underground. However, but I also think that there's ancient sites that we're still ignoring that should not be ignored. America was under ice, but what was above ice when America was under ice? Now we got CNN and all these other people's live science and everybody talking about an imminent pole shift. Okay, like it's not happened ever before. It looks like it to me. It
Right.
happened 12,900 years ago, and I believe that pole shift was caused by the moon stabilization. But that's neither here nor there. So it's about that time where I gotta hit this button to go here, and this is where we do the outro monologue. So this was episode 7 of the Summon of Savages: Mysteries, Machine, and Courage. We've ripped open the bugs, the Booga, and the Bet's sphere. It's something I don't try to go into as much detail as we can because I want to leave something there for other people that are interested in it to actually find more information that's enjoyable. The If I went into everything that the Bet sphere did, you guys would be so impressed, absolutely. But if you found it after because you looked it up from hearing it on here, and you found a whole bunch more that makes you even more intrigued, that's more important to me. So we ripped open a lot. We called out the AI and computers and it altering minds, but there's still a lot of studies that need to be done on that. And we dug into the tales of beings being below the ground, more or less. The Wool Pit Kids, the Makuzi, and others. So next week, I don't know what the topics are going to be. We're going to have to figure that one out. Until then, you guys stay savage. If you like the podcast, if you like a specific part, let me know and clip it. But with that being said, if you got topics you want us to discuss, you could always add them to chat. You add them to chat, I should see it. And if you have the Discord, post them in Discord. We will discuss it before we choose whether that's a final topic or not. But you let me know. Until next week, you guys could all stay savage and have a good night. I'm out of here. He's going to chase an albino gorilla, he said.
What, huh?
We know what you're doing.
No.
We know
No.
But with that being said, I am going to get out of here. So you guys all have a great night. Until next week, stay savage.